Good evening, this is Omar Maldonado here for General Inquiry and Analysis. Um, Today's topic was the question that was asked was, what is an effective argument? And went over a list of different things that are effective arguments and that what aren't. Some of the things that they listed as arguments is that typically as we grow up, as we grow older, what we tend to do is that we tend to yell to try to get a point across, or we try to contradict what other people are saying in order to prove ourselves right. Um, Both these things are incorrect in a way of com- going about an argument. In an argument, you need to be able to, they say that you need to be able to have more knowledge, gain more knowledge, or to learn something from it. And by contradicting someone or yelling at someone, you don't really have that opportunity. You try to prove yourself right. Now, when yelling in a conversation, all you're trying to do is out-talk the person, be louder than them, so that they can hear your point of view, to try and get your point of view across very forcefully. In some cases this works, but in most cases it doesn't, because what happens is you start yelling, then the person who you're yelling at will in turn start yelling, and it just escalates quickly and quickly and quickly, and it can turn to something much worse. As well as contradicting. Contradicting is just going the opposite of what the other person says. Someone says, sky's blue, you say, no, it's green. Doing this over, back and forth, is just trying to prove it's your word against theirs. There's no factual evidence, there's nothing there to present. It's just trying to prove yourself correct. Now, both these arguments are ineffective. But in order to have an effective argument, you need to have a couple of things. You need to have assertions. An assertion meaning a reason or a fact or something behind it. The sky is green for what reason? Because whatever reason you give. And you have to describe different things and put 2 or 3 reasons behind it in order to sustain your point of view or whatever topic you're trying to get across. Then there's also, you need a conclusion to it saying, well, because of reasons A and B, this is what happens. You have the conclusion, which is the answer, I guess, to what you are presenting or what your argument is. Now, an argument is more of an intellectual conversation between people. It's not something that you yell at or try to prove your point. Now, I believe in the video they said, I think it was Aristotle said that in an argument, if you're the one who at some point comes to the knowledge that, oh, I'm wrong, and you learned and you won that argument, popular society doesn't agree with that. Even if you're wrong, you still have to prove your point and say that you're right, even though what you're saying may be wrong. And that is a very backwards point of view. Instead of acknowledging that you're wrong and saying, okay, and learning from it, nowadays we are taught that no matter if you're wrong, you need to prove yourself right. Many of today's big cases that go to court, that are on the TV, are all those kinds of things, saying that even though the person, what they did was wrong, people try to make it light of it. Now, another thing that people do to win an argument is they withhold information. They don't present all the information up front. So, for example, they gave the example of a teenager who wanted to go out for the weekend and needed the car. They'd only present the good things that the parents would want to hear, such as, I'm going to be with my friend Bobby, and we're going to go see a movie. But in reality, he's just not going with Bobby, and they might go see a movie, or they might do something beforehand, or they might do something after, but that part of the information was withheld. So that also is not a correct way to hold an argument. It's just, you need to have all the facts on the table and be able to share it with everyone. If you can't do that, then your argument is moot. There's no point to it. What I've learned from this is that in order to have an argument, you need to have a cool head. But an argument isn't so much of proving who's wrong and who's right as having a conversation to be able to discuss a point and to be able to come to an agreement peacefully without having any, I guess, conflict. Well, that's all I learned from this video. Thank you.